Next section is going to be focused around how you can build that tribe, how you can bring more people into your business in terms of lead generation, both in offline and in online space. Now, some of you may think that this may at times sound a little bit like business to consumer, but it also relates to business. And I'm going to be sharing with you stories that you can apply. Every one of the strategies, or virtually every one, a lot of the strategies that I'll be sharing with you are applicable across different sectors. So if you're dealing with bigger businesses or you're dealing with charities, whatever the case may be, we can apply these strategies to your marketplace. And, I was talking to a gentleman at the break. I'm working in the care industry and I'm applying some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you next in that industry to bring in the very best caregivers in that space and also to be able to attract the very best customers as well. So let's start with the world of online marketing. I spent a week in San Diego, as I mentioned, in February, and I'm reporting back to you on some of the trends of what's getting traction right now. And some of these elements, these ideas and strategies will apply to you, and some may not. But that's okay, because as long as you take something out of it and put it into practice, you're going to get a return. The first thing that's worth sharing with you is that there is a shift taking place. And that's around the shift about the merging of content and commerce. So no longer is it enough that we put a website up and we hope people will come and buy from it. We've got to do more to draw people in and to build that relationship based on trust so they keep coming back. So they keep coming back again and again. Remember we said before coffee, fundamental quality of all human relationships is trust. And that's at the core of all those relationships. We've got to deliver value first. We've got to do something that the customer or prospective customer feels is of value that starts the building of that trust. So here's a good example. UK startup Grabble. They're in the fashion retail space. And what they're doing is that if the demographic, their target customer is very, very clear. But if you sign up to their website or download their app, you can get personalized style recommendations on a daily basis. So you get something of value for no cost that they deliver to you on a regular basis. So their language that they've got on their site as well, you either kind of throw an item of clothing or you grab it. Depending on what you discard and what you grab, what you throw and what you grab, the algorithm refines the choices so that it's more tailored and personalized to you. That site is building a relationship based on leading with value. And off the back of that value, people are going to come back and buy again. So the future of e-commerce is the media, is the content, it's the information that we share. If you think about it, when we go onto Google looking for answers. We type in a search term or a phrase, and we look for answers. And our website has to provide the answers for our prospective and our actual customers when they go searching. So the written articles or content on the website and the video-based content is crucial. So many of you, for example, will know the keywords that people will search for your product or your service. And if you don't, all you need to do is open up a Google AdWords account for free and use their keyword planner and the Google Ads account, and that can tell you put in what you think may be the keywords, and then it will tell you the actual keywords or the search terms that somebody's searching on a monthly basis. So you want to be using those search terms in the content, the information, the articles, the blog posts that you're writing on your site, because that's going to raise your rankings of your website. So remember, people go onto Google to look for answers. Your website needs to be you need to understand your marketplace. Who are your target customers? What are they struggling with? What are their pain points? What's keeping them awake at night? But also, what are their hopes and their dreams and their aspirations? Where do they want to go? Where do they want to take their business? And then you have to talk to them. Really good marketing should turn off the kind of people that you don't want. So if you don't want to deal with, you may call them tire kickers, time wasters, whatever you want to call them, your marketing should turn off the tire kickers, the time wasters, but should actively switch on the kind of people that you do want to work with. Yeah? And you should be answering or providing information that is addressing the things that they're looking for answers for. You'll be aware of the trends that are taking place in the industry, some of the challenges or problems that people in your customer base and your industry are grappling with. Well, what information can you share? What insights, knowledge, connections can you bring together that can help provide a solution to those individuals? And that's what that content piece is about. Because content media grabs, aggregates, corrals attention and brings it back to your site. Now, some of you may be thinking, goodness, Gavin, I've got a day job to run, and now you're expecting me to write all these wonderful articles and ideas and videos, and how on earth am I going to create all of that content? Well, you don't necessarily have to create it all for yourself. One of the things that ranks highly is lists. We love lists of things. You know, the 10 things that you can do in the Midlands for October half term. The top 7 things you didn't about Edgbaston that you didn't know. The top 10 trends in your industry, in our industry, and how they could affect your business. People love lists. But the thing is that you could go and find other people, other writers, bloggers, people on their own website who've written similar articles, and you could take 2 or 3 points from their top 10 and another point from somebody else's top 10 and another 2 points from somebody else's top 10 and create your own combined list. And it's provided you link back to where they came from and you cite who wrote the original one, then if it ranked highly in its original place, it's going to help rankings back on your website. So remember, people go on Google to search for answers. People are grappling with questions on a daily basis in their business. If you understand your target customer, you understand their target market and what their problems they're grappling with, you want to provide information that solves their problems. And you can do that through your website, through written articles with good imagery in it, and also, of course, through good video content, which we're going to talk about later. Why is this important? Readers become buyers. Readers become buyers. Initially, you've got somebody who's a reader or a window shopper, and you need to obviously turn them into a buyer or a customer. And there's a psychological hurdle to get them over, to get them to become a buyer. So it's massively important that the more value that we can add and we can deliver with the information that we share, the more we're going to build that relationship based on trust, and the more likely they're going to trust us to be able to do our product or service, to be able to do what it says on the tin. Because clearly when they meet you for the first time, they're thinking, can I trust you? Is your product or service going to do what it says on the tin? But the more information and experience they can have of you, the more they're likely to build that trust. So the second thing we've got to do is, once we've got somebody to our site, we've got to be able to engage them so that we can convert. 2 ways in which you can get people to your site. You can earn the traffic, and that's through good quality content that I've just been making reference to. Or the second is you go buy the traffic. You go buy it from the traffic store. Google AdWords or Facebook ads, for example, and there's another new kid on the block that I'm going to be sharing with you soon. Facebook ads are growing because of the return on investment that they offer. Google ads are relatively expensive now, and I'm going to share more about that in a minute. But once we've got them to the site, Google's very keen about this whole concept about user experience optimization. In other words, if they're going to send some traffic to your website, they want that website to be easy to navigate, easy to explore. So what Google are looking for, is it a real website? Are people moving around it? Are they reading and consuming the content that's on that website? You see the little arrowheads, the little V arrowheads that appear at the top of the screen, the bottom of the screen, above the fold, and left and right, that indicate scroll up, scroll down? Everybody knows what I mean? The mere addition of those little arrowheads on the screen can increase scrolling by 1/3. Putting those little arrowheads indicating, come on, scroll up, scroll down, left and right, it can increase scrolling by 1/3. And if Google is looking for that as an indicator about the amount of time that somebody's spending on your site and looking around and consuming content, it's a good idea to put them on, because it's going to elevate rankings for your website. Google's also looking about, are people commenting? Are they watching your videos all the way through? Are they sharing articles? To what level is the engagement? Because the more there is that engagement on your site, the more that Google's going to think, or the algorithm thinks, that site is a good answer to that search engine, that query, and I'm going to raise it up the rankings. Then what we have to do is that once we've got somebody to our site, we want to be able to capture their name and their email address so that we can build email marketing funnels to convert. One of the challenges that we've got with the Google and Facebook and other algorithms is we've got no control over them whatsoever. A colleague of mine, actually a Midlands-based client of mine, not colleague, client of mine, he's got a business in the online gifts sector. And in the changes of the algorithms for Google a couple of years back with the Panda and the Penguin algorithms, he lost 90% of the traffic to his website overnight. Nearly took him out of business. He had to buy himself out of that hole through Google AdWords, and it was a very, very expensive way of doing it. And again, that nearly took him out of business. But he's up and running, he's back up and flying again now. So because we can't control any changes around the shifts in those algorithms, what we can control is the relationship we build with our email marketing list. Now, this is something in the UK which I don't think we're very good at. And in the US, for example, we're a lot better. There's a business I'm talking to at the moment in the retail space. They've got retail shops, they've got online sales, retail sales, and they've got online wholesale sales as well, and physical face-to-face sales. Across those different areas, they've got they've got over 15,000 customers or previous customers, their name and their email address, but they're not doing anything with that. They're leaving a lot of money on the table. Because once somebody has bought from you once, provided you've done a good job, they're more likely to buy from you again. So we've got to look after, to nurture that customer base. You've done the hard yards in winning them as the customer the first time. So it's important that you nurture them and make the right offers to them so they will come back and buy from you again. But I don't think we're very good. I think there's a great opportunity for people like you and I in the room here today to use these strategies that I'm going to share next, because not many organisations, particularly in our SME space, are using them in the UK. Because why? Who here doesn't like receiving sort of unsolicited or spam emails? Okay, a lot of the room. But who here likes to receive the emails from thought leaders in your space, people that are sharing insights, market insights, trends, value-added information that helps you with your business? Who here likes to read those kind of emails? Now that's interesting and common. That's probably about 15% of the room. So in other words, 85% of the room saying, I don't even like to read that stuff. And I would say, actually, you need to. Because if you're running a business, you need to be at the leading thought, you need to be at the leading edge of the thinking is in your business. You need to know where the innovations are coming from. You need to know where the trends and the shifts are in your marketplace. You need to see how customers' needs and demands are changing so that you can tailor and innovate your product, and importantly, stay relevant. So actually, we should be on emailing lists from people that add value to us, because it keeps us up to date. It's a huge amount of data that you can get about your marketplace that gives you the edge if you tap into and read the content that really good people provide online. Not everybody does it, but there's some really, really good people.